boxing news today. Good news for PBC and their boxers and boxing fans in general. They've just announced a new deal on the heels of Showtime opting out of boxing. And their new deal is, in fact, with Amazon Prime Video starting in March of 2024. So, we were all wondering what would happen with PBC and their fighters. And by the way, we did throw in our offer to PBC and say, hey, man, we'd be happy to stream those events for you. Anyway, they chose Amazon Prime Video over Talk a Fight. Alrighty, upcoming fights to mention here. As y'all know, Devin Haney going up against Regis Progress. And Jake Paul up against Andre August. Cruiserweight battle coming up. I'm sure a lot of his fans, Jake Paul in particular, fans will be looking forward to that. Then we got Jesse Bam Rodriguez coming up against Sonny Edwards this month as well. A fight taking place in Glendale, Arizona for the WBO IBF flyweight titles. As we all know, and we're looking forward to it. Over in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, we're looking forward to seeing the big heavyweight clashes, as well as a couple of other fights. Dimitri Bivol included in that one, light heavyweight. That's December 23rd. A couple of days later, over in Tokyo, we're going to see Nayana Inoue go up against Marlon Tapales for the undisputed super bantamweight titles. Obviously, there are other fights going on. I just wanted to quickly mention a couple of fights in particular. One going on in, let's have a quick look here. Where is it going? Oh, yes. The WBA is putting on a KO to Drugs fight. I believe that's taking place down in Orlando, Florida, put on by Box Lab Promotions. Big fight taking place, I believe, this weekend. Coming up soon, headlined by Adalberto Amara and going up against Fredemil Macayo. That's for the WBA Fedelatin lightweight title. And we've also got Kevin Brown going up against Marcos Jimenez for the WBA Continental Americas super lightweight title. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 other matches going on that. It's going to be a great evening of fighting down in Orlando. Also, weights have come in from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. A ton of fights matching those going on in Orlando. Wow, I must say 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 fights taking place at the Wind Creek Event Center, put on by King's Promotion. You can see that on boxingtv.com. First bell, 6:45 p.m. Eastern Time. Anyway, this is all a wind-up, as you know, to the Haney Progress fight for the WBC super lightweight title. As I said, it's coming on tomorrow night. They've also got the Rubisi Ramirez versus Rafael Espinoza fight. I've been talking about these fights for a while now. Followed by the next day, Chris Bill and Smith on Peacock going up against Matheus Masternak for the WBO cruiserweight title. A couple of days after that, on ProBox TV, we've got Batyr Jukambayev versus Muhammad Mamir for the super lightweight title. As I mentioned, Jake Paul up against Andre August, for those fans of Jake Paul. December 16th, as I said, on DAZN, Jesse Bam Rodriguez versus Sonny Edwards, one of Showtime's certainly last fights. David Morrell going up against Sene Agbiko for the WBA super middleweight title. That's December 16th. As I say, we've got that big fight December 23rd. December 26th is the fight in Tokyo. And then we're into January 2024. So I wanted to save that for later. But I do also want to mention this weekend, we're going to see an interesting fight take place down in the Cayman Islands. Headlining at the Lions Center on Grand Cayman is Birmingham's Matt Windle defending his Commonwealth light flyweight title against Doncaster's Craig Derbyshire. The showdown is a strong contender for Fight of the Year. Okay, it's a groundbreaking event. The first time a Commonwealth title is to be held on the islands. And to add to the excitement, boxing legend Roy Jones Jr., who was recently on Talk and Fight, will be there as a special guest. I know there's a couple of young ladies. Do I have that for you? They're going to be fighting. So let me have a quick look here. I thought I had it. No, there's a couple of young ladies going to be fighting on this card as well. It looks like a really good fight anyway. because I know one of the ladies fighting was from Canada. Oh, yes, here we go. Katie Healy versus Shelley Barnett for a super bantam bout. They're on the undercard of the Matt Windle, Craig Derbyshire fight. Michael Dasmarinas going up toe-to-toe against Jorge Sanchez for featherweight bout. Eric Moon going up against Mikhail Miller, super middleweight bout. Harvey Dykes going up against Danielle Payne, heavyweights. John Elroy Fruto, toe-to-toe against Roxy Lamb. And Jose Soquita going up against Eduardo Avila in a super lightweight bout. So good night of fighting taking place at the Line Center down in Georgetown, Cayman Islands. Again, great if you're down that neck of the woods. Great place to see a fight for sure. Don't forget, there's also a fight going on at York Hall over in London. It's going on in a few hours' time. My die should be going on right now, actually. Elliot Whale, 7-0, going up against Darren Tetley in a welterweight battle. Archie Sharp, 23-0, going up against Victor Julio for a super featherweight battle. Nelson Heisa, 13-0, going up against Luis Jose Martin Garcia, 13-5 in a heavyweight battle. Frank Arnold, 9-1-1, going up against Christian Navaz, super featherweight. And then rounding that out, Sunny Hardy, Engel Gamaz, Shauna O'Keefe versus Avaida Masakete, Navid Aran versus Balraj Kara, Joel Bartel going up against Arjom Sparta, George Mitchell, his opponent will be announced shortly, and Arnie Dawson going up against Ricky Leach. So good night of fighting coming up in a few hours' time down at York Hall in London. Just in case y'all were wondering with respect to that heavyweight fight between Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk, you'll be happy to know that good old Ebony Bridges is making headlines in the UK by actually predicting the winner of the fight. And this is what she had to say. I always believed that Tyson was stronger in this confrontation. He underestimated Francis Ngannou in the last fight, but I will still bet on Fury. He's too big, fast, and strong. Okay. I can't say with certainty that Alexander has enough power to beat Tyson. So anyway, so I guess there's a little bit of a disclaimer into her commentary, making headlines over in the UK right now. Then I want to mention a little article came out on ESPN that we all should be interested in, because we here at Talkin' Fight are always talking about the up-and-comers and giving them their shot in the limelight well before they're even mentioned in mainstream media. But here, ESPN is naming their top 25 fighters under the age of 25. So, for example, Teofimo Lopez was ESPN's best fighter under the age of 25 in 2021. After aging out, Devin Haney took the top spot in 2022. And now with Haney having turned 25 on November 17th, the number one spot belongs to Jesse Bam Rodriguez, whose name I just recently mentioned. Anyway, like Lopez before him, Haney also became the undisputed lightweight champ, and Bam, who will fight for a second time, as I said, in a week's time, in the flyweight unification bout against fellow champion Sonny Edwards, could follow on their steps after capturing a flyweight world title back in April. Rodriguez, as you know, is also former junior bantamweight champ. Anyway, let's have a quick look at their list and see what we have to say about number one. As I just said, Jesse Bam Rodriguez. He's 18-0, 11 knockouts, fighting in the flyweight division, and he's the WBO flyweight champion, 23 years of age, by the way. Number two, Jared Anderson, one of our favorites, 16-0, 15 knockouts, heavyweight, 24 years old, and in 2022 was ranked number 8. Number three, Keyshawn Davis, 9-0, 6 knockouts, lightweight division, 24 years of age. Number four, Xander Zayas, 17-0, junior middleweight contender, 21 years of age. Wow, he's got a long, wow, good for him. Diego Pacheco, number 5, 20-0, super middleweight, 22 years old. Look out for this guy. Number 6, Brandon Lee, 28-0, junior welterweight contender. Wow, 24 years old. With a 20-21 record, 16 knockouts in the junior middleweight division, Jesus Ramos, number 7. Number 8, Edwin De Los Santos, mentioned often here on Talkin' Fight, 16-2 in the lightweight division. First woman on the list, top 10, She's coming in at number 9. Gabriela Fundora, 12-0, 5 knockouts, IBF flyweight champ, 21 years of age. Younger sister of former WBC interim junior middleweight champ, Sebastian Fundora. Let's have a look here. Number 10, Ricardo Sandoval, 23-2 in the flyweight division, 24 years of age. Number 11, Elijah Garcia, 16-0 in the middleweight division. And Jinjiro Shigioka, 10-0, strawweight champ in the IBF ranks, and coming in at number 12. Number 13, Raymond Ford, 14-0-1, 7 knockouts as a featherweight. Number 14, Abdullah Mason, mentioned him an awful lot, lightweight. Let's have a quick look here, see if he's got any upcoming fights. Nothing that I can see. Number 15, Emiliano Vargas, 8-0, lightweight, 19 years of age. Number 16, Michaela Lejon, IBF junior bantamweight champ, or former IBF junior bantamweight champ. She doesn't have any fights upcoming either, I don't see. But good for her making this list as well. Number 16, 14-1-1. Number 17, Angel Ayaya Lardizabal, 17-0, flyweight contender, 23 years old. Well on his way to winning a title, for sure, out of Mexico. Caroline Dubois, 8-0, lightweight contender, 22 years old, coming in number 18. Number 19, one of our favorites here on Talking Fight, Richard Torres, 7-0, 7 knockouts in the heavyweight division, only 24 years of age. He was the 2020 Olympic silver medalist, and we've mentioned him a lot, so I don't need to go into many details on him. Floyd Schofield, another fellow we've mentioned a lot on Talking Fight. He's number 20, Kid Austin, up and comer. Number 21, Jose Angel Gabriel Rosa, 23-0, 17 knockouts in the junior welterweight division, 23 years of age, southpaw. 22, Dave Apolinario, junior welterweight contender, 24 years of age. He's from the Philippines. And those Filipinos are always going toe-to-toe against the Japanese, it seems. But this guy's, his biggest moment, it says here, on ESPN's Full Story. Invite you to check it out. Apolinario secured a monumental victory with a spectacular first-round knockout of South African southpaw Gideon Bateluzzi in January 2022, and who was boasting a record at the time of 23-5. And this triumph stamped his status as a rising contender. Very good. Number 23, Hamza Shariz, middleweight contender, 18-0, 24 years of age. Wow, good for him. Shiriz's progress this year has been slowed by an ear injury, which will prevent him from fighting again until early 2024. But he stopped Dmitry Mitofanov in 2 rounds back in August for his 12th stoppage win in a row. So as I said, 18-0, 14 knockouts. He's got the power and a commanding long jab, and he can box. But here he is sitting at number 23. So good for him. These are global rankings among both men and women, all divisions. Good job by ESPN putting this together. Number 24, Carl Martin, 22-0, junior featherweight, 24 years of age. Now, due to injury, this particular southpaw only fought once this year in 2023, and extended, however, his unbeaten streak. It's now 22-0, 17 knockouts, with a wide decision win over Oscar Duguay in August. His team has been working to secure a U.S. visa in order to take his career beyond the Philippines. Coming in at number 25 at 10-0, 7 knockouts, Adam Azim, who we mentioned very recently here on Talk and Fight, the British star in the junior welterweight division. Originally, his parents were from Pakistan, but he's an Englishman with quick hands and athletic footwork, and he burst into the UK scene with some explosive knockouts. And with just 10 pro fights under his belt, the assassin is unproven. But he did show his chops on the amateur circuit with 10 national titles and a number 1 world ranking as a youth. So his biggest moment really came in the latest outing with a 10th round technical knockout of Frank Pettigene on November 18th. Pettigene was most experienced opponent to date, and Azim proved he could carry his power late in the fight after flooring his foe in round number 5. Azim has gone the 10-round distance in 2 previous bouts as well, so it was a good showing for him to stop his opponent in the first scheduled 12-rounder. And there you go, top 25, under 25, according to ESPN, rounding out the year 2023 as we head into 2024. I had earlier mentioned Teofimo Lopez and his high expectations in the money division, if you will. Anyway, so that promoted Eddie Hearn to say a few things, which he feels is causing him to be benched. He feels the WBO light welterweight champ, 19-1, by the way, Lopez has unrealistic expectations about what he should be getting for his fights, and that could ultimately hurt his career if he's sitting and waiting on huge money to fall into his lap from his promoters. A story courtesy of Boxing247.com. Hearn says that if Teofimo would be over $2.5 million for a fight, he would want $10 million, which is an absurd amount of money considering he couldn't sell out the 5,500 seat Hula Theater in Madison Square Garden in New York for his last fight in June against Josh Taylor. Teofimo, 26 years of age, seems to think that his victory was over an old, injured, and much smaller Vasily Lomachenko back in 2020, and his recent win against a washed-up Josh Taylor should translate him to making the big bucks. The reality is that Teofimo isn't popular with casual boxing fans because he hasn't fought enough yet. And his one big victory over Lomachenko was followed by a loss to George Kambosos Jr., which we all remember quite well. So, said Eddie Hearn, I don't think he's a free agent. Boxing needs people like Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo is one of those guys that has unrealistic financial expectations for his fights. I actually feel for Bob Arum and those guys because can you imagine the conversation? All right, Teo, we want you to fight on Heisman night in a standard defense against someone. It's unclear what Arum will do with Teofimo, if he's going to sit and wait for massive money or to be thrown at him by ESPN, because if it doesn't happen, he could sit for years unless he changes his tune. Hearn says Teofimo could have fought since his victory over Taylor, but he's chosen not to. And he doesn't have any fights scheduled. It wouldn't be surprising if he's still sitting on the sidelines next June, having sat out an entire year waiting on big money to be thrown at him by Arum. Says Hearn, Arum probably says to Teofimo, let's fight on December 9th. I'm going to give you $2 million, $2.5 million for voluntary defense against anyone you want. Arnold Barboza, whoever. $2.5 million. You joking? I want $10 million. On what basis? Says Hearn, imagining that conversation taking place. Anyway, Teofimo is not interested in fighting Arnold Barboza Jr., so he's a bad example. He seems to want Ryan Garcia or Devin Haney. These are potential fights for Teofimo, but not if he prices himself out. You can't sell out the theater, the Hula Theater, at the Gardens. It's not non-pay-per-view on ESPN. All the numbers are mathematical and factual. Unless the promotional company, says Hearn, wants to lose several $1 million for doing the fight, it can't happen. It's all very well to say, I'm worth this. On what basis? Let the fighters own the show. Let the fighters own the financial of the show. You'll see very quickly what you're worth. I think Teofimo is amazing. I think he's a great fighter, said Hearn. But Hearn believes that Teofimo would get big money fighting Regis Progress or Ryan Garcia. Progress would have to win that fight against Devin Haney on Saturday, however, and Ryan wants Rolando Rolly Romero, as I've mentioned earlier this week. So it's unclear that he doesn't want to take any risks for the time being. Sad news, and we've often mentioned that here on Talk and Fight, which is a big issue. No, that wraps me up for today. Thank you very much for joining me. Appreciate it very much. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell for me, and we'll see you later on. I believe we have a special guest coming on at 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Mike Orr Show, Knuckle Up. I'm going to keep that as a surprise, but I will mention 2 words, Quiet Storm. And then 7 o'clock, Tim Witherspoon and Lou Eisen hopefully will go toe-to-toe on the Friday night panel, moderated by Mike Orr again. Good stuff. Thanks very much for joining me, and you'll see me again next week here at Boxing News Today, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Thanks again for joining me, and we'll see you then.